All right, let's start this section by talking about image types and formats. In computers, we have two types of images: raster images, which are made up of pixels, and vector images, which are defined by a set of mathematical vectors like lines and curves. So as you can see, we use raster images for photos and vector images for simple graphics, icons, logos, and so on. Now, there are a few things you need to know about these image types. Raster images often come from cameras and scanners, but they can also be produced by software. Any image with the extension of JPG or JPEG, PNG, and GIF is essentially a raster image. It's made up of pixels. And that means the larger the image, the more pixels we need, and that results in a larger file size. So on the web, we don't want to serve large images because downloading them takes time. But we don't want to serve really small images either because these images look blurry if you scale them up, because they don't have enough pixels or data, okay? Now, in contrast, we create vector images using software like Adobe Illustrator or any tool that allows us to draw something and export it as an SVG file. SVG is short for Scalable Vector Graphics. So these graphics are scalable and they always look sharp at any size because these images are not made up of pixels. They're defined by mathematical vectors. Here's another comparison of a raster and a vector image. On the left side, we have a raster image. On the right side, we have a vector image. Now pay close attention to the word HTML. Can you see how sharp each character is? And this image always looks sharp at any size, even if we make it really, really large. This is the benefit of scalable vector graphics. Now let's talk about the common raster image formats. We have JPG or JPEG, GIF, PNG, and WebP, which is a modern image format a lot of people are not familiar with. Quite often, WebP images are smaller in size, but the problem with the WebP format is that it's not supported in Internet Explorer. So here on caniuse.com, look, it's supported in all modern browsers except Internet Explorer. At the time of recording this, the total coverage is 90%. So it's pretty good, but if you have clients that are using Internet Explorer, you cannot rely on WebP. You should use other formats. So back to this table. Now look at the number of colors of these formats. All these formats, except GIF, support 16 million colors. So we can have a lot of details in these images. The other difference is in transparency. What is transparency? Well, look at the image of this keyboard. This image is on a transparent background. So these tiles that you see here, they represent transparency. And that means we can take this keyboard and put it on any background. We can put it on a white background, on a black background, on a background with patterns and so on. This is the benefit of transparency. So if we need transparency, then we have to use a GIF or a PNG or a WebP image because JPEG images don't support transparency. Now, out of the three, which one is better? Well, look at the number of colors. GIF images only support 256 colors. So if we have a lot of colors and details in our image, then we have to go with PNG or WebP. Otherwise, if you have a really simple image with flat colors, then we can go with GIF. Another difference is in animation. All these formats except JPEG support animations. So we can use them for really short animations that are only a few seconds long. For anything more serious and longer, we have to use a video. So these are the differences between these image formats. Most of the time we use JPEG and we use GIF or PNG when we need transparency or animations.